Hey everybody, welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the PlayStation. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? So, last time, we have actually entered endgame territory, boys and girls, where the Emperor Palamecia has returned from the depths of hell to come and kill everybody on the planet and then harvest their souls, because them's good eating. And so right now we are making our way through the Jade Passage, which is going to lead to the Emperor's Palace of Pandaemonium, so that we can take down the Emperor once and for all, because that's what we do. We're the good guys, all that fun stuff. We actually got some really good items last time, and since I'm being a dork and I actually didn't equip them, thankfully after doing this, I'm going to remember. And as people can see, we're starting to get some of the rarer items because we're getting boss fights along with them. Which is fine by us, right? Because this means we're going to be done pretty soon. And I believe... yeah, actually, never mind. I think I actually did equip it to him, the Holy Lance. So, that'll be very helpful. And Gus has got his rune axe on. As you can see, I'm trying to strengthen both Holy and Ultima so that Fury and Maria have something to do when they're attacking. And it's going to actually help. And this guy, poor soul, he's trying so hard to do damage to me. But I went overboard with the grinding, and for good reason. I did not want this place to be a problem. And as we can see, the Holy Lance really isn't doing too much right now. It's just because Leon doesn't really have much in levels with the Lance. Which makes sense. I mean, he's got really like swords, axes, and all that stuff. And unfortunately, this was an upgrade, so he has to just kind of work on his Lance skill. And there we go, the Red Dragon is down. Not to be confused with the Red Eyes Black Dragon. It was a red dragon, not a red-eyed dragon. Now, at any point I could warp out, but not really recommended, because then you have to make all the progress that you've made in the Jade Passage all over again. And Pandaemonium also is a pretty long dungeon, so we're not going to be warping out. We're going to keep going. It's Emperor or bust at this point. Thankfully, we're getting really close to the end here, guys. And usually at this point, one of the things that I actually do go into is people might have questions about upcoming events or news that we might have that we want to share, or games that I'm actually currently playing. We'll get into that because Pandaemonium is long. So, first of all, I kind of want to go over E3 because, just to give a reference of time when I'm recording this, E3 2014 happened this week. It just barely ended. I'm basically recording the Friday after E3 is done. So, lots of exciting stuff happened. I was very excited with how this E3 turned out compared to the last year's, where I had nothing but problems. You know, where I wanted to see new libraries for the Xbox One and the PS4. We got to see some, but there really wasn't much to report. Microsoft completely failed in that regard, as far as I'm concerned. And we're talking E3 2013, not 2014. And Nintendo had some good games coming, but it was all first party. This time around, I think this has been a great E3 overall, at least for the big three. Microsoft had a library for the Xbox One, not just multi-platform, but exclusive releases that were really good. Same thing with Sony. And Nintendo came out in droves with third-party support. I was very happy, especially since I am a Wii U owner, and there really isn't much third-party stuff. Everything is first-party that you want to own on it, you know, with a few exceptions here and there. But this time we got lots of games that I was interested in. Just to kind of give a quick overview, I've said it a dozen times, so you guys have probably heard it on Drak and Shadow, or we just barely last night did the episode for the E3 episode for Geek News Reviews and Opinions, so that'll be up pretty soon. So for those who have heard it over and over and over, you can go ahead and skip. This is just me trekking through Jade Passage or Pandaemonium. For those who don't know, I pretty much walked away with like 2 or 3 games I was interested in with Microsoft on Microsoft's end. Obviously, I was interested in Rise of the Tomb Raider when that debuted, but I'm not going to get it for Xbox One. I know that it's going to come out for PS4, and I'm going to get it there. As far as Xbox One exclusive titles, I am definitely going to be getting Sunset Overdrive. That looked really good to me, and it's Insomniac, so... Or, no, not Insomniac. Yeah, it's Insomniac. Because that was the thing that threw me off. It was a place. Insomniac, to my knowledge, has always been a PlayStation developer. In fact, I thought they were second party. They work directly with Sony, and that's not the case. So I'm excited for Sunset Overdrive. I'll probably give that a shot here and there. The other big one was Hideki Kamiya of Platinum Games coming out and announcing Scalebound, which to me just looked like Devil May Cry meets Monster Hunter. And here's the thing, I'm not a Monster Hunter fan, but it looked like a Devil May Cry game with dragons and abilities, and that looked really good. So I'll give it a shot, especially since it's Xbox One exclusive. The other game that I was kind of interested in, and I know this one is multi-platform, but to give people kind of a scope, when I play a BioWare game, I'm playing it on Xbox. That's just the way it's kind of gone. The main reason I've done that is because they originally had Mass Effect before PlayStation and even Nintendo had it. So I've always... And I don't like playing PC on that one. So I prefer going console, and I've gone Xbox for the first 2. I have not played the third one yet. But I've also decided to do that with the other BioWare franchise that I've been told to get into, which is Dragon Age. And Dragon Age Inquisition looks really good. So I will definitely be playing that on Xbox One. When I get one. Because I don't have one yet. Those were really the 3 games that I was interested in. They also did the unveil for Assassin's Creed Unity, and I'm an Assassin's Creed fan. I've done my reviews of them on this channel with the Final Fantasy Let's Plays. I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of tired of Assassin's Creed at this point, especially since it comes out every year. I love the wait between 2 and 3, or I guess Revelations in 3. Just because it gave people time to sink in all the story. And the fact that 4 came out pretty quick after 3 was kind of a shocker, and Unity is the same thing. I really do think Ubisoft needs to change their whole policy of not working on new IPs. And I know they're doing that a little bit, but they need to do it more. And so at that point, I would have no problem with taking like a 2-year break from Assassin's Creed and working on, another Prince of Persia title or something. Just because. Change it up a little bit here. But that was what I was interested in from the Xbox One. I'm not a Halo fan, guys, so Master Chief Collection did nothing for me. If anything, I'll probably just watch some walkthrough of it. I've been told to play the Halo story, but since it's a shooter, guys, I can't play those for very long. And so at that point, it's not in my best interest to get that game. I'd much rather just have a walkthrough going while I'm doing something on another game. So that wasn't really interesting to me, but I walked away with something, guys. I know a lot of Microsoft fans have been a little frustrated with me because it doesn't seem like I'm even giving the Xbox One a chance. I'm giving it just as much a chance as the other 2. The only difference is that, like I said, I'm not very big into shooters for the reasons I stated, and therefore, since Xbox is the shooter console, it doesn't do anything for me. And that's the problem with it. I will admit, though, I was interested in 2 games after last year's E3, the Killer Instinct remake, which still has my interest. But however, Titanfall doesn't anymore. Given I've talked to people who have played it, for people who listen to Geek News Reviews and Opinions, Aldo reviewed it when it was in beta, and it just seems to me like it's COD with mechs. And so at that point, it's not worth it to me. unless you have a legit storyline. So I now have 4 games I'm interested in on Xbox One. That's kind of sad. That's why I'm saying it's not on my priority list at the moment. But I will applaud Microsoft. They did a good job. They finally got some stuff that's exclusive to Xbox One. They announced a good library coming for it. But I will admit, it was kind of funny to see them sit there and kind of cower. You know, like, do we announce things? We don't want Sony to make fun of us. You deserved it last year, Microsoft. I'm sorry. On to Sony's conference. I'll get into the third parties in a little bit. Sony did a lot for me. There was a lot of games I was interested in. Some I had played before, some I had not. So it's probably, like, I got a Wii U last year. I'm kind of tempted for this holiday season to get a PS4 because it just feels right. I've got a lot of stuff coming out for PS4 that I'm interested in, so I would love to get through stuff as I can go. Specifically, I mean, the 2 games I already knew that I was going to get for PS4 were Knack, because I wanted to try that out, and I also wanted to try Assassin's Creed 4 on PS4, because everybody had told me if you're going to do that, make the step up to next gen, because it's going to look better that way. So I was going to do that. I haven't played 4 yet, and I've got plenty of stuff before it. The other thing I'm now kind of interested in is I've been playing the Infamous series, and so I'm liking it thus far. I know I'm going to Infamous 2, guys. I don't know if I'm going to go to Second Son yet. But I'm putting that open on the table. The big ones that they announced that I was interested in was, I'm a Metal Gear fan. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up, but I'm interested in Phantom Pain. I'm interested in Uncharted 4. The Grim Fandango Remastered announcement was really cool for me, because for people who know from the Let's Plays, I'm a big fan of point-and-click adventures, and so whenever there's a remaster, I am excited. I'm totally stoked. I'm there. I will buy it. I did it for the first 2 Monkey Island remasters. The Gabriel Knight Sins of the Fathers remaster that I think it's Pinkerton Studios, that's Jane Jensen's, is working on. I'm totally going to get that. The Telltale Sam & Max and Tales of Monkey Island, I got all those. So Grim Fandango I will get, but I'm actually very excited for this one because one of the things I will admit here is I have never played it. I've never played Grim Fandango. When it came out, it was kind of around the time where I was still a kid, and my mom was very apprehensive about stuff that I was playing. And she saw the box and thought it was pro-smoking. And so I couldn't get it. That, and she was worried that everybody was dead in it, and therefore it was going to be a creepy story. But I tried to get it, she wouldn't let me, and then when I got old enough, or I could go make that call on my own, it wasn't available. And so at that point, I've never been able to play Grim Fandango. This allows me to play it, and I'm very excited for that, because I've heard it's one of Tim Schafer's biggest masterpieces of his career. So I'm totally stoked for it. I was on board for Magicka 2, and I haven't even played Magicka 1. I'm going to go look it up on Steam after talking to Aldo. But lots of games that I was interested in. And like I said, with Rise of the Tomb Raider, I was interested in that trailer, but I'm going to get it on PS4. Because both me and my wife have enjoyed that. So overall, and also the PlayStation TV announcements, they were fairly cool to me. For those who don't know, I actually purchased a Vita, and one of the biggest features that I use a lot of and love it is the remote play. And so the fact that PlayStation TV is basically that excites me. I really like that idea. Am I going to get one? I don't know. But I like that idea, that I could do the remote play from any TV. So, with that said, overall, I liked how Sony delivered on its consoles. They even said there was stuff being worked on the Vita, and that excites me. And then the third of the big three, Nintendo had third parties galore. I was so happy for it. There was a bunch of third party titles right off the bat I was interested in. Obviously, I've said I was going to get Bayonetta 2. I'm going to get it now, especially now that the original Bayonetta is included. Even though I have that for PS3, I might play through with all the Nintendo add-ons. Some of the stuff I giggled at, you know, putting Bayonetta in Mario or Princess Peach or Link gear, or even Samus gear. Sold. I'll do it. I like the idea. So, and obviously I was going to play Bayonetta 2. The other big one for me was... Excuse me. The other big one for me was Xenoblade Chronicles X. And here's the thing, I'm a Monolith Soft fan, guys. I played Xenogears in the 3 Xenosaga episodes. I have not played Xenoblade yet. It's on my list, but I have not played it. And so when I looked at Xenoblade Chronicles X, I was like, is this a sequel or is it a retelling? And because one of the things I noticed in the Xenoblade trailer, there was never mechs. And in X, there are. And that excites me to no end. I love that idea. So I'm totally on board for that. And I'm going to step back into the game really quick because we are officially done with the Jade Passage. We're halfway through. And this is where Pandaemonium starts. Welcome, everybody. You have entered Pandaemonium. I'm not going to lie, Pandaemonium is incredibly long, guys. So you're in for the long haul. Good thing we have E3 stuff to talk about. The other big news, obviously, for me was the Zelda announcement. I kind of knew that at some point Shigeru Miyamoto would have to step back, and I'm kind of glad Eiji Onuma has taken over for Zelda. He's had some success in the past. So, and I think he understands the series. Especially with this new trailer, we really got a good understanding of where he sits with this series and his understanding. So it was exciting and all, but I wanted to see more in the engine, and they didn't really give that to me. I get that they're trying to tease things, and maybe it's just not that far along, but, you know, that was one of the things that frustrated me. I was also happy to hear that Star Fox is coming back for Wii U. I just wish we would have gotten a little bit more information on that one. Maybe, again, that's early on in development, so maybe they just don't have anything to give. And I'm fine if that's the reason. If they had more, then I'm not. Because they should have shown it. Because I had to sit there and endure through a Toad puzzle game, a bunch of Mario-esque clones. You know, Yoshi's Woolly World is basically Yoshi's Epic Yarn, as far as I'm concerned. Kirby's Rainbow Course just felt like Kirby's Epic Yarn 2 for me. That's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, platformer after platformer. I wanted to see some other genres in there. I wanted to see a Metroid game, and unfortunately I didn't get my wish. But usually in these consoles, a Metroid game comes a little later. So I'm willing to wait. And I'm going to laugh my butt off if it's designed by Team Ninja, because all the YouTube naysayers, ha 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 ha. Because it's either Retro or Team Ninja. They're handing it off to another studio completely. And I kind of want them to give another chance over to Team Ninja. I think Team Ninja was really respectful. So at that point, give them another shot. I'm sure they'll do fine. I'm kind of wondering if, because Tomonabe Itagaki came out, and he's responsible for Dead or Alive and the Ninja Gaiden reboot. I'm kind of wondering if he's part of that. If he's, you know, that's like the olive branch. You know, he's going to go and do Devil's Third, and in the meantime, Nintendo's going to let them do another Metroid game. I think we ought to give him another chance, guys. I know that a lot of people don't like Other M, but I think it gets a lot of flack considering what it was. We need to give them another shot. I'm sure they can get it right. I didn't have any problems with Other M, aside from a few little nitpicks here and there. And my nitpicks are not anywhere near anybody else's. My nitpicks are where they tried to introduce Prime elements to it. Where they introduced shooter elements. Because it didn't fit. That's my issue with Other M. I think they had a solid engine to be able to do this as a 2.5D Metroid game, and then they made you go into the visor, and it sucked it all out for me. So that's my only concern with it. And like I said, I wanted to see more Metroid news, but we got flooded with Super Smash Bros. News. And all that stuff was good. You know, maybe at some point on Drak and Shadow, you may see us like take on Mario Kart 8 or Super Smash Bros. Just for the heck of it. Just to show it off and say, oh, you know, we're going to work on these characters. That's going to be fun. We might see that. I don't know. We'll need to work that out. But overall, Nintendo had a lot of good announcements for me, but most of it was third party. So that's the part that excited me about it. You know, like we got Ace Attorney or Professor Layton x Phoenix Wright got announced, and that it was getting localized. I'm excited for that. I'm trying to think of some other things. There was talk that Ace Attorney Investigations 2 is coming here, and if that's the case, I am totally stoked. Because I love the first Ace Attorney Investigations. I love being at the helm of Miles Edgeworth instead of Phoenix Wright. I thought that was a really great turn. And obviously the Meiji era Phoenix Wright is going to come here. It's a given. The other big announcements were not in the conferences that were cool. First of all, Pac-Man got announced for Super Smash Bros. That was awesome. That's another great arcade icon. Now in the fray of Super Smash Bros. Awesome. I love it. We have Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man all in there. And on top of that, you can now create your own Reggie Fils-Aimé and have him brawl. Yes, with the Mii Fighters. Which, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen that trailer, go see that trailer. It's pretty freaking hilarious how they put like Iwata and Reggie into kind of a Dragon Ball Z style fight, and then have them hash it out in Smash Brothers. I will admit though, the amiibos, not really all that excited about them. I'm not into Skylanders. I'm not into Disney Infinity. I've said this a couple times on radio. So the amiibos don't really hold anything of significant value to me. Nothing wrong with them. I'm just not that interested. So, overall, this E3, so we had Killer Instinct Season 2 get announced, which introduced TJ Combo, and he looked really good. This was, like, the first Iron Galaxy character. He looks good. His fighting style looks about as where it should be. I know that this is like a retired TJ Combo. So that was kind of weird, but I'm all for it. It's Killer Instinct. Also with the teaser of Cinder being the next one. Let's see. And then some of the other stuff was just announcements here and there. I've heard, for people who've been following Drak and Shadow, we looked into Sonic Boom. It looks like it's doing okay. It looks like the Wii U version is very solid, but a lot of people I was reading reviews from were saying that the 3DS version looks boring. Like, it was boring to sit through that playthrough. So, that was disappointing to hear, but I get it. I get why people had that problem. It's disappointing, but at least the Wii U entry is good. So, that's something to look forward to. And gee, I'm trying to think of some other stuff that got announced. Yeah, that's the first thing that's coming to my mind. If something else comes up, I'll let you guys know. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then for Sony, the Ratchet & Clank first game remake, in what looks like an inspiration to the movie. So now it's going to kind of mirror the first movie's, or the movie's plot. At least it looks like that. I like that idea. I haven't played Ratchet & Clank, but it is on my list. So we'll see what I think about it when I actually get there. The Sonic movie, I will admit, did not excite me at all. The Sony Pictures live-action CGI Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't think should happen. I'm a Sonic fan, guys, but when they make announcements like that, it worries the living heck out of me. Because it could easily go bad. And that's a sad thing. You know, I don't want Sonic to go bad again. I'm already enduring Sonic 06. I don't want further problems in this series. Because if you have further problems, this is going to affect Sega overall, and I want to see Sega last as long as it possibly can. That's all I'm asking, guys. I just want Sonic to last as long as he can in the medium. I think Mario could do a movie and be somewhat redeemed, but... Because obviously his movie would not be like the older one. It would probably be a CG movie completely. And that makes sense, right, guys? You know, go do a Super Mario Galaxy movie. I don't care. And I'm trying to think of some of the other announcements that came out on the show floor. I think I've pretty much covered everything that caught my eye. It just kind of irritates me that some of this stuff didn't hit the conferences. It would have been cool to get a TJ Combo trailer in the Xbox One or the Microsoft conference. It would have been cool to get a Sonic Boom look in the Nintendo Direct. I don't know why they didn't do that, because the game is being hyped right along with the series, especially when they had a new character to announce and everything. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that. A little odd, but okay. But in the meantime, guys, we're going to go ahead and call a quick break as we continue on through Pandaemonium. Next time, we will be doing just that, continuing on in Pandaemonium. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we will be back next week. Once again, I am Drak, and this is Final Fantasy II for the PlayStation.